Hi class, in 12.2 we will be moving into the metric system. Learning targets for today, we will be selecting appropriate types of metric measurement. We will be selecting appropriate units for each type of metric measurement and converting from one metric unit to another, very similar to what we did in the customary system. For the lesson intro today, it says, previously you learned about the customary system of measurement. 400 years ago, scientists proposed a measurement system based on decimals. They called this measurement system the metric system. Today, the metric system is the most widely used measurement system in the world. Because the metric system is based on powers of 10, it can be simpler to convert measurements within the metric system than within the customary system. So that's what we will be looking at today in 12.2. Let's take a look at page 782 and problem 1 with metric units. It says up at the top, in the metric system, the standard unit of length is the meter. Meters are used to measure distance. The standard unit of mass is the gram. Grams are used to measure the amount of matter in an object. And the standard unit of capacity is the liter. Liters are used to measure the amount a container holds. So again, much like we did with the customary system, we're going to break up the metric system into 3 different categories: meters, grams, and liters. And you can see right next to each of those words what we will use for the abbreviations for those 3. M for meter, G for gram, and L for liter. The table displays 6 prefixes that are used to indicate size in the metric system. A prefix is a group of letters attached to the beginning of a word which changes the meaning of the word. Based off of the visualizing activity that you have already done with metric units, you should know that these 3 prefixes that are highlighted will be our main focus in dealing with metric units. Kilo means 1,000, centi means 100th or 0.01, and milli means 1,000th or 0.001. By putting each prefix together with a standard unit of length, whether it's meter, whether it's gram, or whether it's liters, you can write all of the units of measure in the metric system. Let's skip over to page 784 and take a look at number 2. Much like the customary system, now based off of your background knowledge of metric units, they want you to choose the appropriate metric unit of measure to use when measuring each, and hopefully you have a good understanding of that after the visualizing activity that we did. If you take a look at letter A, for your height, you would use either meters or centimeters. Millimeters would be too small for your height, and kilometers would be too large. Letter B, the distance from New York to California, you would use kilometers. All the other metric measures of distance would be too small. Letter C, the mass of a puppy, you would use kilograms. Grams and milligrams would be too small for a puppy. Letter D, the length of your pencil, you would use centimeters. Millimeters would be too small, and meters or kilometers would be too large. Letter E, a bottle of soda, you would use liters. Kiloliter would be too large, and milliliter would be too small. And finally, the amount of water to fill a swimming pool, that would definitely be kiloliters, the largest unit of measure for metric capacity. All the other measures of capacity would be too small. Let's move to problem number 2, and again, time to estimate, this time with the metric system. So with your group members, I would like you to answer number 1, A through D. Circle the most appropriate measurement for each. If you remember from the last lesson, a measurement is made up of 2 parts, the number and the unit of measure. The mass of an elephant would be 7,000 kilograms. The amount of gas in a car's tank would be 55 liters. The length of your classroom would be 7 meters. And for letter D, the height of a basketball hoop would be 3 meters. We are going to skip problem 3 in 12.2 and move on to problem number 4. What I am going to do though is display the table of the metric system that is used to show the units for length, mass, and capacity back in problem number 1. You can see that these are indeed some of the benchmarks that we used again for our visualization activity. But we're going to stick on this page because once again I would like to show you the 3 steps that you need to follow in order to convert in the metric system, much like we did in the customary system. Just as in the customary system, you can use more than one measurement to describe the same length, mass, or capacity in the metric system. You might say that a room is 3 meters long, or you might say that the same room is 300 centimeters long. Either way, the lengths are the same. They are just said in different ways. As with the customary system, there are many times in which you need to convert one measurement to another with different units. So much like with the customary system, the metric system also has conversion factors that you are going to need to know in order to move from one metric unit of measure to another. So these are the conversion factors that I would like you to copy down for metric length. 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. 1 meter is equal to 1,000 millimeters, and 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters. Again, going back to problem number 1 and understanding what each of those prefixes means in those words. Now let's move on to metric mass and the conversion factors that you will need to know for those units. What I would like you to write down are just 2 of them. 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams, and 1 gram is equal to 1,000 milligrams. And finally, for metric capacity, again, just 2 conversion factors that you need to know. 1 kiloliter is equal to 1,000 liters, and 1 liter is equal to 1,000 milliliters. When converting in the metric system, we are going to follow the same 3 rules that we did with the customary system. The first thing we are going to ask ourselves, are we going to a large unit of measure to a small, or a small unit of measure to a large? Then we are going to say how many ... which refers to the table then and the conversion factors that we would have to figure out. Number 3, carry out the math. Remember, if you are going large to small, you are multiplying. If you are going small to large, you are dividing. So let's look at a couple of converting problems together to make sure we understand how to convert from one metric unit to another. I have 2 meters and I want to figure out how many centimeters that is going to be. So first I have to establish if this is large to small or small to large. This is large to small. Meters are larger than centimeters, so I know that I'm going to be multiplying. The next question you ask yourself, how many centimeters are in 1 meter? It would be 100 centimeters in 1 meter if you refer back to your conversion factors. So I'm taking 100 times 2, which is going to give me an answer of 200 centimeters. Another example, I have 4 grams and I want to figure out how many milligrams that is going to be equal to. Again, this is a large to small unit of measure. There are 1,000 milligrams in a gram, so if I take 1,000 and I multiply it by 4, I'm going to get 4,000 milligrams for my answer. Take a look at a third example then. I have 2,000 liters and I want to figure out how many kiloliters that would be. This time we are going from a small unit of measure to a large unit of measure. There are 1,000 liters in a kiloliter, so I am taking 2,000, I am dividing that by 1,000, so my answer would be 2 kiloliters. Last example then, I have 4,000 grams and I want to figure out how many kilograms that is going to be equal to. Again, this is a small unit of measure to a large unit of measure. There are 1,000 grams in a kilogram, so 4,000 divided by 1,000 is going to give me 4 kilograms for my answer. So in going back to the beginning of the lesson, when we talked about the metric system based off of powers of 10, hopefully you can see how the converting might be a little easier with the metric system. Let's turn to page 790, and what I would like you to do for homework then is number 4 through number 7. That will be all then for 12.2 on metric measurement. You do not have to worry about doing talk the talk. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.